Have you ever wondered what makes some people so good at learning new languages, or why some people are so creative? And even more importantly, is there something special about these people, or can we become one of them? Let's look at the brain for some answers. Now, a fundamental property of the brain is its ability to change and to learn. And this property is called neural plasticity. Neuroplasticity is associated with the ability to learn new things, even in adults, such as learning new languages, or learning, say, to juggle, or learning very large amounts of information. Now, as we grow older, neuroplasticity decreases, and this makes it more difficult to learn new things. Now, interestingly, this varies widely from person to person, such that some people have highly plastic brains even as they grow older. Exercise and mental stimulation are the best things that you can do for a healthy brain, but we don't really know why this is the case. In my project, I study the effects of mental stimulation on the brain. And to do this, I use magnetic resonance imaging, also known as MRI, to study adult human participants before and after they learn or practice a new skill. Now, what we know about the brain right now is that certain parts of the brain are associated with fundamental things like the ability to remember things or the ability to see. However, for more complex tasks, different parts of the brain have to work together. In my project, I like to take a global view of the brain and see what exactly changes in the brain when we learn something. Is it the physical structure of the brain that changes? Is it the connection between different parts of the brain? Or perhaps it is how different parts of the brain communicate with each other and work together. Preliminary results from my project support this approach, and someday in the future, we may be able to tell whether people who learn things very easily have a brain that works a certain way, and more importantly, whether practice can effectively change the way that your brain functions. This has fundamental consequences for the way that we approach education in schools and therapy for children with learning disorders. Are some children just more intelligent or more creative than others? Or should we actually be teaching all children fundamental skills such as how to learn or how to think creatively? I hope that by studying fundamental principles of how the brain works, we can change the way that we think about people's potential and how we educate future generations.